Welcome to the Own It Sister podcast with the amazing life coach, Sarah Oxendine.
What's up, everybody? How are you? Aloha. This is Sarah Oxendine here. We are talking about certainty today. So first of all, happy Mother's Day. To all of those of you mothers out there and all of those of you women who have made an impact and helped be the tribe and community of humans who are in raising this next generation. Thank you for all of your love and sacrifice and understanding and forgiveness to all of these awesome young ones who are learning and growing in this human world. So today we are talking about certainty. And the reason I'm bringing this topic up is because here we are, we are in this COVID-19 situation, and it brings up a lot of stuff for us individually, which is why is it such a great opportunity, actually, that we're in this circumstance and together as a whole, like as a world, we are dealing with this, right? And the truth is, throughout the human experience, each of us go through things on some level of this degree individually, right? We have some major crisis that happens and causes us to self-reflect and brings up all of our stuff. But this is a very unique situation because globally, we are all going through this together, and it is bringing up all of this stuff. There's tons of fear and uncertainty, but this is why I'm bringing up this. This is why we're talking about this today, is because it brings up uncertainty, except uncertainty was always there. No, do you hear what I'm saying? It is no more uncertain right now than it was 3 months ago. 3 months ago, we did not know COVID-19 was going to happen. We didn't know we were going to be in lockdown after wear face masks everywhere, right? And yet we were just like living our life. And yet here we are in these circumstances. Nothing is guaranteed. No one knows they're going to lose a child or a friend or a spouse until it happens. Like, every day is uncertain. We aren't guaranteed anything. What? And the reason it feels so uncertain right now is because it's on such it's just bringing that, it's just become more aware to us. And our brain really wants certainty. Our brain really thrives with certainty. And so it's not like uncertainty wasn't there 3 months ago, a year ago. There was tons of uncertainty. It is all uncertain. But because we're in our daily routines, we're doing our thing and dropping kids off at ballet and picking them up from football and going to basketball games and going on dates with our husband and going out to eat, or, you know what I'm saying, in your relationships, being able to do things and function on that level of normality that we had, we weren't just thinking. It wasn't on the forefront of our brain that any one of us could die at any moment. We're not guaranteed tomorrow. I'm not guaranteed 2 seconds from now. There'd be a major earthquake and I just get swallowed into the earth. There's no guarantees. So what I want to offer is, in this time of quote unquote uncertainty, it is no more uncertain right now than 3 months ago. And we get to choose what we want to make of this time, here and now. We get to choose if we want to spiral with all of these thoughts of uncertainty, even though it's always been uncertain, or we get to choose if we want to step into this and be like, listen, it's always been uncertain. What am I going to do now? How can I make the best of this situation that I'm in right now? And so one of the commitments I've made to myself, and I feel like I've always had this commitment to myself, even as a young girl. It doesn't matter what circumstance I am ever in. I know 100% I'm going to make the best of it. Always. Always. And so sometimes what happens is when we don't go to that place of what's the worst case scenario, then we never know if we're going to be okay or not, right? And so let's just go to, actually, this was, I don't know, maybe 5 years ago. My second to youngest, I have 5, and my second to youngest, Anave, I think she was maybe 4 at the time. And we used to live in Santa Cruz, California. And my husband dropped us off at the beach and he was looking for parking. And then just me with all the kids. He was looking for parking. I wonder if we had the dogs. We might have had the dogs with us too. And he was going to go look for parking, and I was taking, and we only had 4 kids then. We didn't have 5. And I was taking the other, all the children with me and the dogs, and the older kids had the dogs, but I'm like, or maybe I had a dog, whatever. And we're just like, hey, come on guys, let's like get down to the beach. And there you had to go to a sidewalk, and then there was a steep staircase down to the water, to the beach, and then to the water. And I thought all of us had come down. And then my husband was going to come down. And all of a sudden I'm looking around and I'm like, because as a mom, that's what you do. You like count. Okay, we're down here. Da, 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 da. And I'm like, wait, where's Anave? Excuse me, where's Anave? And I think every parent loses a kid at some point. And Anave is my daughter, who is very confident, and she would just walk. She would just keep walking straight. Like this just happened. Like was not the first time this had happened. Of her, like everyone turns and then somehow she just keeps walking straight. And so I think I'm scanning the water, like, oh my gosh, she's drowned. This is terrible. What's going on? I can't even believe this. Like, we're just praying to God, please let her be safe. Please let her be safe. But I'm literally looking for her body floating inside the ocean. And we call the police. And let me tell you, it's been like 15 minutes. You're panicking after 1 minute of not knowing where your kid is. You're super panicking after 3 minutes, 5 minutes. And now you're in like, she must be dead. I can't believe this. How is this happening? What are we going to do? Like, how do you live through this? We call the police come. We have someone else, or maybe I went up to the top, and then I'm like, okay, maybe she just kept walking straight. Like, please God, let her, she just walk straight and some nice human finds her and that we'll bring her back. And I don't remember, maybe my husband decided to just drive and see if he could see her. And way flipping. I don't even know how she got that far. Just her I guess 15 minutes of walking straight. She just kept walking straight. And that night, so we found her, everything turned out fine. But that night, my husband and I looked at each other and we were like, we have got to do some work on ourselves, because I don't know if our marriage can last if we lose a child. And we got 3 other kids that like would need parents. And I'm telling you, it became very real to me in that moment that if we didn't figure out how to live with the loss of a child, we would be destroyed. Like, how to not blame each other, right? Like, I was thinking like, yeah, I didn't really want you to go park the car. I needed your help to get everybody down. And then you wouldn't park with all of us and you just dropped us off, right? That was my head. His head was probably like, hello, you had the kids. It was your responsibility. Why weren't you holding your hand? Whatever. So there's all this blame and all these things that happen. So we went to work on our own brains to get to a place where no matter what happens, we are going to be united, and for the benefit of the rest of the family, like be able to come together in any circumstance. And you know what? I think it's a choice. It's a deliberate choice. Like, you have to choose and decide that you are going to make the best and come out on top out of any circumstance that ever happens. You are going to choose that. And the reason I brought that up is because you may need to go to the worst case scenario. Actually, I'm sure your brain already has several times, right? Like, what if we all die of COVID? My brain's gone there. What if all of a sudden the food chain stops and there's no more food? What if? And now we're so far in it, right? Because here we are in May. And now it's like, what do we believe? Like, we're being told you have to wear masks. And then, but like the people who are telling us we have to wear masks, they're not wearing masks. And then, you know what I'm saying? There's all of this, like, how do you even know what to believe? Some people are saying it's really crazy. Other people are saying it's nothing, right? And so it can feel very confusing, and it can create serious spirals in the brain. So my suggestion is to allow your brain to go to the worst case scenario and figure out how you're going to make the best of that. Go there and problem solve. And they'll be like, but that hasn't happened. But I know if it does, we are going to make it work. Right? Because even if it wasn't COVID, people go to bed at night, like humans all over planet Earth, go to bed at night, wake up, kiss their husband goodbye, and their husband never comes home. They didn't know that was going to happen. But those things still were happening, like death was still happening before COVID. And now, like, here's COVID, which again, of course, I'm not saying that I love COVID or, I'm grateful for it or anything, but it's the circumstance. It's just what is. This is the life that we're in right now. So figuring out how to make the best of it and understanding that there never was any certainty even before COVID. Because right now we're like, oh my gosh, my life's so uncertain now. Correction, your life has always been uncertain. And now you're just hyper aware of the uncertainty. And so settle into that and don't stop your life because of it. Okay? So a lot of what's could be happening, right, is judgment, right? We're like, excuse me, you are too close to that person, right? Or excuse me, you should not be letting your child go on bike rides because COVID is flying through the air, right? Like whatever the reason. And just notice, like when we make judgments, we are causing divide. Okay? And when we're out there like deciding that someone else should be doing it different than they are and I'm right and they're wrong, is that who you really want to be? Like reflecting and being like, who do I want to be in this situation? We are all here feeling tons of uncertainty, which again has always been. There's never been. Do you want to know what is certain about being a human on planet Earth? You are the only two things that are guaranteed you are going to get for being a human on planet Earth is you're going to live, you're going to be born, you're going to live until you die. You're going to live, and then you're going to die. The only guarantees. You're not guaranteed you're going to have a warm, comfortable bed to sleep in. You're not guaranteed you're going to have healthy, clean drinking water. You're not guaranteed you're going to have a roof over your head. You're not guaranteed that all your children and your husband are going to live. You're not guaranteed that once you get married, you're never going to get divorced or lose a spouse, right? We're not guaranteed any of it. But we get so used to life being so in some ways easy, right? Like we can order pizza, we can go out to eat when we want. Well, before COVID, we could go out to eat when we wanted. You could go to the movies. There we have had so many freedoms. And then here comes COVID in and it shakes everything up and we're like, wait, what? Now everything's uncertain. So when you can go to the place, it's like, all right, so everything was uncertain before. Everything is still uncertain now. Now what? Now what? What do you want to make of it now? Now that your awareness is heightened, now that you get the opportunity to really work on what's going on inside of you, inside your brain. Like when you're forced to stay at home with those kids, like you want to know what's really sad is that the severe child abuse and domestic violence has skyrocketed through the roof. Because people are who have not been doing the work on themselves to be able to handle this type of situation are just flying off the handle. They just don't have the skills of how to manage in this environment. And so instead they lash out. Not okay at all. But what we can do is we can say, okay, that's not who I am. Who do I want to be in this situation? What's going on in my brain? Because all of the things that are coming up in your brain, let me tell you, they were already there before COVID. Now you're just becoming more aware of what's going on in there, which is a very unique and amazing opportunity for you. Seriously, like it's been amazing for me. And you're not alone. So, what I want you to know is that yes, everything is uncertain. 100%. But that is not because of COVID-19. That is because you're a human on planet Earth. And what comes with being a human on planet Earth, you are guaranteed uncertainty every day. And how we choose to think in uncertainty and live in uncertainty will determine the quality of our life. So you can choose, okay, this is the situation. How am I gonna make the best of it? What am I gonna do? How am I gonna problem solve? And get to work. Okay? Get to work. I'm like, I wish I would have timed this. I'm not for sure how long this has been to know if, okay, I'm going to teach you one more thing before we go. So I'm going to give you guys a skill. Okay. I'm going to talk about it again in another podcast, but I'm going to give you a brief of it right now so that you can apply it now. Okay. It is called the model. I learned this from my life coach, Brooke Castillo, at the Life Coach School. And I'm going to teach it to you because it is a game changer. Okay. It is a tool to help you manage your mind. And as you practice it and practice it and practice, it becomes a skill in your life that is vital to being the human you want to be. Okay. So it's called the model, and there's 5 steps. And the first step is called your circumstance. Okay. Circumstances are facts only. Like in the court of law, facts. So like COVID-19 could be a circumstance. And then the next thing is a thought. Okay. So I just write it like this. We have circumstance and then we have thought, and just right underneath each other. The thought is literally, this is all a thought is, a sentence in your head. A thought is not truth. Okay? A thought is literally just a sentence in your head. Sometimes we have thoughts that we believe. Sometimes we have thoughts that we don't even believe. And for some reason, we just keep thinking them. But we don't actually believe them if we were to ask ourselves, is that true? All right? So the awareness here is key. So you have a circumstance, which is a fact. And then you have a thought about the circumstance, which is a sentence in your head. And then you have a feeling because of that thought. So often, we think that our feeling is because of the circumstance. So we think we're feeling afraid because of COVID. We're not feeling afraid because of COVID. COVID is neutral. All circumstances are neutral. We are feeling afraid because of the thought we're having, the sentence in our head about COVID. We're all going to die, right? Which I do not believe, but that thought has gone through my brain. Or there's not going to be enough food, or we're going to starve to death. Whatever, those crazy thoughts that go through my brain, which I don't even believe, but they still come because I'm a human on planet Earth, and that's totally fine. And then we work them through. So we have a circumstance, which is the fact. We have a thought, which is a sentence in our head about the circumstance. We have a feeling, which is an emotion that we feel, the sensation through our body. Okay. So a feeling is a sensation that we feel in our body. Okay. Is that emotion that causes a sensation through our body. Then we have an action. So because of that sensation through our body, because of that feeling, we have an action. Okay. Sometimes the action is no action. Sometimes the action is sit and binge watch Netflix. Sometimes the action is eat a bag of Oreos. Sometimes the action is to, maybe, I don't know why I wanted to say like slap your husband in the face. I mean, of course not, but thought about it, but no, we would not do that. Then the result. So what is the result because of the action? So what's the result because I yelled at my husband? What's the result because I ate a bag of Oreos? Right? What's the result because I have been listening to the news 24/7 since COVID-19 started? Oh, the result is crazy mama, right? So that's how it works. Now, I want you to try this, you guys. You can plug anything in your life in here, and it works. I am dead serious. And you can start from any place. A lot of times I start from the bottom and work my way up because I'm like, okay, I have this result. Or maybe I want to get this result and work my way backwards. Sometimes you may only know what you're feeling, but you're not exactly for sure the thought, and that's fine. So maybe it would be like COVID-19. You have a feeling which is afraid, and now you have to be like, okay, what's a thought in my head that's causing me to feel afraid? What is that thought? And you really got to tap into that. And once you are aware of that thought, you can write it in. And now what I want you to do is I want you to recognize you are not feeling afraid because of COVID-19. You are feeling afraid because your thought is the world's going to run out of food and we're all going to die. That's what's causing you fear. COVID-19 is neutral. You guys, let me tell you, when I learned this concept, I'm like, wait, what? Like death is neutral. What? Like I'm like, no, death is not neutral. Here's why we know death is neutral. People are dying all the time around the world. Are we walking around crying? No. You want to know why? Because until someone tells us about it, we don't have a thought in our head about it. Our thought about the death is what causes us pain. It's not the death itself, right? There might be some people, right? There could be some terrible killer, rapist, child molester. When he dies, you might not be sad. I wouldn't be sad, right? Maybe you would. Either way, there's not a wrong or right there. But that's how we know death is neutral, because it's happening all the time, and yet I'm not walking around crying about it all the time. Now, let me tell you this too. Just because I say it's neutral, that doesn't mean it doesn't matter. Okay? Neutral doesn't mean it doesn't matter. So don't get me wrong. Don't mistaken me there. I want to feel sad and grieve when someone dies. Okay? What I'm recognizing is that it happens all the time, and I don't have a thought or a feeling about it until someone tells me, so then I can think about it in my brain. Okay? Another thing is with the circumstance is there's no description words. So it couldn't be he yelled at me. It could be the exact sentence. So let's just say you have a teenager and your teenager yells, "I hate you." You could say, "Jennifer said, I hate you." You can't say Jennifer yelled, "I hate you." No, because what you think is yelling and what I think is yelling could be totally different. Okay, so no description words. But it could say exactly what they said. What happens here is, and just so you know, Jennifer saying "I hate you" is neutral until I have a thought about it. Do you hear what I'm saying? And let me tell you this. Have you ever been in a situation where you're in a situation and you're with someone else, right? And you're both in the same situation. And one of you is totally fine, doesn't think anything wrong happened. And the other person is like, "Can you believe them? How dare they? That is out of unacceptable behavior," right? And you're just like, what? Or maybe you're the one snapping like that, and the other person is like, "What are you talking about? Like, did I miss something? Because that's not what I saw." The reason that can happen is because what happened is neutral until you have a thought about it. Okay? Let's say the child yelling, or the child, like your daughter, saying, I hate you. A stepmother might hear their stepchild say, I hate you, and take that to heart and be like, oh my gosh, she hates me. This is terrible. Now, her mother, who birthed her and has raised her, and that same child says, I hate you, she could be like, all right, and get to your room, and not make it personal at all. Why? Because their thoughts about it are different. The child saying, I hate you is neutral. One mother is like, okay, kid, like, I don't care. I don't even believe you. Like, she doesn't believe it at all. Like, no, I know you love me. I love you. Get to your room. That's unacceptable. Now, if you're a stepmother who is feeling like, what if she really does hate me? This is terrible. What have I done wrong? Right? It couldn't mean, maybe she doesn't hate you at all. She just said that. But you have this thought, oh my gosh, maybe she hates me. So those are some examples of where circumstances, the same circumstances, but for two different people, they have different thoughts about it. Because they have different thoughts about the same circumstances, they have different feelings, different actions, and different results. Okay? Circumstances are neutral. COVID-19 is neutral. And this is a beautiful thing. Let me tell you, this is the best news, because then you get to make it mean whatever you want. Your kids staying home, being home, and you get a homeschool, totally neutral. And then you have all these thoughts about it, and you may like your thoughts. Maybe you don't like your thoughts. But the good news is, if you don't like your thoughts, you can work on changing them. Just because you think it doesn't mean it's true, and doesn't mean you have to keep it even if you think it is true. And let me just tell you, 100%, your thoughts are not facts. Circumstances are facts. Thoughts are not facts. They're a sentence in your head. And you are deciding if it is true or if it isn't true. But it isn't necessarily true or not true. It's your thought. You guys, did your brain literally just explode? So I want you to practice this. We will talk about this more. This is one of the tools that I teach those that I work with in my 6-week program. It is a 6-week Own It Sister program where I work one-on-one, because I'm a life coach, and I work one-on-one with you, and we work through your stuff in your brain, and we work through it and sort it out so that you are living a life deliberately. So you get to find out who you are by searching inside instead of outside of you. Where you're going to learn to take all those negative feelings and emotions that just feel so out of control, and all this worry about other people's judgments and blah, blah, all of this stuff. And we work on all of it. You guys, we work on all of it. It's amazing. And while we're working on all of it, because our gut health is directly connected to our brain health, so it's like a whole nutritional and emotional support and thought work. Like, we work to heal the gut, to heal the brain. Also, while you're learning how to use the model, how to do thought downloads, you're using essential oils, and I teach you how to make kombucha and bone broth and sauerkraut and sourdough starter and bread. Like, it is a life-changing transformation. And it is for the person, it is for the woman, it is for the mother who is ready. She is tired of where she is, and she is ready to make a life change. She is ready to decide, yes, COVID-19's here, and what? I'm going to come out of this the best flipping version of myself. I can help you do that. Before we go, actually, I just want to give you, for feeling like uncertainty, I'm going to tell you some essential oils that you can use. And the essential oils that I use are doTERRA, so they are included in my awesome 6-week program. In the program includes all of your supplements and everything you're going to be using, all of your essential oils. And I teach you how to use them, and it's amazing. It includes videos and recipes. It's like the flipping best thing on planet Earth. And you definitely want to get on my program because it's flipping rad. But some essential oils that you can use are Anchor, Clary Sage, and Copaiba. Those are specifically for feeling uncertain. Okay. I'm just going to read what it says in this book because I think you're going to really appreciate it. It says, I have been unpleasantly surprised by life in the past. What will it take for me to feel assured? So this is what you're going to do. You're going to use these oils and you are going to say this to yourself. Have I been unpleasantly surprised by my life in the past? What will it take for me to feel sure, to feel assured? I can now move forward in faith. I am now perfectly supported. You have got to be the one to support yourself. You have got to be the one to decide that even though there's uncertainty, which let me remind you, it was always uncertain. COVID-19 did not make it uncertain. It just brought up the awareness that things in life has always been uncertain, okay? So how can you support yourself? You can support yourself with thoughts that serve you. You can support yourself with using essential oils that are going to support your emotional well-being. Anchor, Clary Sage, and Copaiba are 3 oils that specifically work for uncertainty. I can now move forward in faith. I am now perfectly supported. See yourself as a tree with roots anchored in rich, nourishing soil, receiving everything needed to be safely sustained. Okay, so see yourself as a tree with your roots secure in rich, nutritious soil, getting all the nutrients that you need so you are being sustained. I got this. If you don't have this book, actually, this book is included in my program. It's the Essential Emotions book. It's the newest one, and it is flipping rad and amazing. And I will be sharing things in here. I teach you things inside my program. But if you are ready to move and to really master your mind, if you are ready to stop feeling like a victim all the time, if you're ready to stop being in your worry, if you are ready to stop being controlled by other people's opinions, learn how to say no, all of this awesomeness, I can teach you that. Have an amazing day. Looking forward to next week. And if you want to learn more about my program, message me, email me, because I'm here to help you. And if not, I know that what you definitely will at least get is some great information and some wonderful tools just by listening to my podcast. Have an amazing day, my friends. We will see you next week. Remain unaltered. Hey, own it, sister.